Welcome, welcome. Tonight we've got something a little different than our normal, how I built my real estate portfolio. I met Mike on a flight out of Eugene about 2 years ago, and he does real estate. He's got some STRs out of state. He's done a little bit of development here in Eugene. But the real interesting thing is how he's scaled a business over the last couple of years. And he does partner with real estate owners, apartment owners, and that thing with his vending machine business, coaching business. And it's had a really interesting story. I only got to hear half of it on the flight. I'm really excited to hear more about what he's built and what he's done. Welcome, Mike Hoffman.
So just to kind of get started, I'm gonna maybe tell a little background, and like if you have questions during, he asked if I wanted slides or anything, and it's not really how I operate, so feel free to raise your hand if you have specific questions. I think the interesting thing, does everyone in here have like units? Like, a couple of you guys were talking about like, oh, I have 6 units or 20 some units, which is amazing. Is that, everyone in here got properties? No? Maybe? Mostly? Cool. Yeah, so long story short, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from a college town in Iowa. My parents are veterinarians. I love coming to Corvallis because it kind of brings me back to that Eugene. Moved up to Eugene in 2018, and I was working for a software tech company, and there was a lot of land for sale for $100,000 right next to Autzen Stadium. And what I realized real quick in Eugene is my first rentals in St. Louis when I was a coach in collegiate athletics back in the day, all I knew about investing was the 1% rule. If you buy a house for $100,000, does it rent for $1,000? And if so, it'll pencil out eventually. So coming to Eugene, I was like, there's no way you can buy a rental for $400K and get $4,000 for rent. So I was like, this doesn't really pencil out. So what I thought through was like, well, what if I bought a lot of land, built a house and an ADU, and have a VA in the Philippines run it for me? And it actually worked out really well. But take a step forward. So I met Ryan in an airport, and I just want to kind of tell like my entrepreneur story, because we were talking about your stories of how you guys started businesses. So in 2020, I was in the Denver airport at 11 p.m. And if you've ever taken the Denver to Eugene flight, if you're late for that flight, you're not getting out in Denver. Okay, we've all probably been there. Well, I went up to a vending machine at 11 p.m. I was like, I'm paying $5 for a bottle of water, and someone is making massive margins off of it, and they're sleeping right now in their bed while I'm literally United Premier, Delta Platinum, every status, flying all across the country for my W-2. So I got down this rabbit hole of, well, what's this vending machine cash flow like? What is like, that's really fascinating to me. So some of you might know like Cody Sanchez and some of these kind of influencers in social media all have become friends of mine now in this whole cash flowing space. But I went down this path where I walked into an apartment right across from Matthew Knight Arena, one of the high rises from Graystar, and I was like, hey, do you guys want a vending machine? And they're like, we don't want a vending machine that looks like a eyesore looking Bigfoot Pepsi machine. We want an AI camera micro market. Done. We're going to do it. I was like, I can do it. And they're like, when's it going to be here? Guys, I didn't even know where to go get this machine. I sold a vision, classic entrepreneur story. I sold a vision. I was going to figure it out. So found an AI smart machine. Looks like a bookshelf. If any of you guys want to look me up on Instagram, you can see all these machines. I have a ton of followers. It's not what you think of as a vending machine. That led to another Graystar property in town, another Graystar property in town. During COVID, I started posting about this on Twitter. And I was like, oh, you can buy a smart water for 50 cents at Costco and sell it for $4 in a vending machine and make whatever that margin is. Well, content started to go a little viral, and people were like, hey, I want to do this in Boise, Idaho, or New York City, or Miami, Florida, or Wichita, Kansas, or Manhattan, Kansas, or wherever in the world. So I built a community, and what I started to do, and this is coming full circle with VAs, I promise, and AI, is I started to help these people build vending routes wherever they lived. And the way I did that is I started to build out a team in the Philippines, because I was very passionate about margins, and I was very passionate about EBITDA, and I was very passionate about how do we scale this in the most efficient way. So I hired my first cold caller, in the Philippines, $4 an hour. And I was like, Ryan signs up in Corvallis. I'm going to scrape all the businesses that I think fit the right criteria for a good location for vending. And we're going to dial into those businesses on behalf of Ryan's company. So, hey, this is Beaver Vending, blah, blah, blah. Do you have vending? Yes. Is it the old school machines? Yes. Okay, well, we can provide a better solution. Those people in the Philippines were rewarded with hiring Ryan appointments. And so you guys can start to see like this whole lead gen thing is not relevant to vending. Well, that community now is up to, I think as of this morning, we're up to operators all across the country. We have a team in the Philippines. We have a team in South America. We're leaning more to South America now because of fluency in English. But then what also was happening, as I started to realize real quick, it would take my one employee to dial into, let's say we wanted to dial into Black Butte and see if there's a short-term rental that an owner wanted to sell. Well, our humans can only dial 100 people a day if they're doing a good job. So we started leaning heavily into AI about 3 years ago. And so now Ryan doesn't even know this, but we've started 4 new operating companies in the last 9 months. First company was this vending community. Then we started getting Greystar saying, hey, we love what you're doing in Eugene. Can we do it regionally? Seattle at UW. Can we add in whatever the property is over here? I think Sarah. Can we add in UC Davis? Can we add in LA? Well, now we have a national MSA with Greystar, 3,800 properties for vending. Well, that's a whole different company. And then on top of that, what we realized real quick, our number one selling SKU in the vending machine is what? Can anyone guess? Smart water. A bottle of fucking water. Pardon my language, sorry. Water. So then, and I'm a health fanatic. I was a human performance coach working with the SEAL teams and flying all across the world. And so I was like, why wouldn't we create a water company with peptides in it or ketones? And so in the last 6 months, we've developed a water company because as part of these MSAs, we can require our vendingpreneur, what we call them, in Manhattan, Kansas. Hey, do you want this Greystar lead right on campus that's going to do $5,000 a month? Oh, by the way, 5 SKUs in that machine got to be water, and they got to be our water, and then they got to be our vending machine. So now we've gone down a path of making our own machine. But to take that a step further, these AI bots we developed to essentially replace our Philippine cold callers, we now have rolled out to a couple high-level realtors, a couple, like we're doing a huge thing with Mackenzie Solon. They do all the engraving on gear in Eugene. They want to grow through acquisitions in the US, so we're doing some scraping and outbound stuff for them. But I think, one thing, I was talking to him earlier, we've leaned very heavily into AI and VAs. And I think, one thing I've coached Ryan up on a little bit on how to find VAs is like, there's 2 things that really I think about with anything I do is like earn with your mind, not your time, and buy back your time. How many in here still run their calendar? How many in here know that there's not a $5 an hour employee across the world that will run your calendar? But now I have an AI tool. I'm not kidding, guys. If I pulled it up right now, the president of Summit Bank is emailing me to schedule a time for a meeting. I CC my AI agent to schedule the meeting. I named it after my dog that passed away at Oregon State Vet Hospital last year, named Penny. He thinks he's talking to my VA and he's talking to an AI agent to schedule a meeting for me. And I've set out all the parameters. I don't want to call outside of 1 to 3. I don't want Fridays, and the AI agent will read the email, interpret it, go back to the person, schedule the whole thing. The tool is called Lindy. You can look it up, Lindy AI. A very easy tool to use, connects to your email. You can do so many things with it. They released this week a phone bot. So if you have a CRM for your leads that you're going after to grow your portfolio, or let's say you have a 20 plus unit thing and you want to target new tenants, you can dump this into there and talk to it on what you need, like from CRM follow-ups to the main thing I use it for is 2 things. Calendar management, and then all my notes from my call recordings. I don't want a transcript of the freaking meeting. You guys all join video calls now, and there's more freaking call recording people than there are human beings. That's not the goal. It's taking those notes and what's actionable, so then my VA can move out on actionable. Okay, you're tasked with doing this, that, it falls on you, and it's moving out process. So now we've moved out on AI managing services company. We started our office building in May in Coburg, and we're up to, I think today we just hired 7 people for October already. We're scaling very quickly with hyper specialized salespeople, and we're doing a lot of live bot to transferring to humans. So we'll train up the bot. The minute that they think that someone's interested or they need to live transfer to one of our humans to close the deal, that's anything, whether it's driving a lead to be a tenant or a lead to owner, like calling into every house in Sun River to see if they need a new roof, to, we call it the steel trap for leads. We're gonna hit them from all angles, whether it's social media, whether it's YouTube angle. People, you can reach leads in different ways. We've built out signals. So like if you guys are trying to build out your, let's say your book of business as a realtor, we've built out scraping signals of like people that update their LinkedIn, like moving to Corvallis, or those signals are that get to the potential lead for you guys. So that's a little background of me. I'm happy to dive into specific questions, tools. If you're looking for data scraping tools, Clay AI is a huge tool that I highly recommend. They build AI agents on top of each other. So one of the interesting things we do, like if you think of the vending thing, this is totally applicable to CPAs, or is like we'll spit out a demographic. Let's say we want to target businesses in Corvallis that have 50 plus employees, because we think that's the foot traffic for a vending machine. We'll scrape those businesses. We'll build out another signal or another AI agent on top of that, that the decision maker is either a C-level or the director of HR, because that's who, or director of operations. We'll then have the AI agent go into LinkedIn and scrape all those people from that business that's above 50 people. And then we'll go a next step further, have any of those people posted on LinkedIn in the last week? And what was the content? Did they go to Vegas for BiggerPockets? If so, let's say Ryan listed that he was at BiggerPockets, we can have the agent scrape that and weave that into the first sentence of our outbound script for an email. So we've built think of it as a waterfall. We built an agent on top of an agent on top of an agent, and you build these, what's called a waterfall of signals, to ultimately drive the action you want to take. Our action, a lot of times we use in Clay, is pumping it into cold email based on those criteria, but it's the same thing in anything. You can feed it to the bot to dial, you can do whatever you want. So I'm happy to answer questions, open the floor, go for it.
Is there any bosses script X or Instagram or?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's, I could get back to you on that. We, a lot of like, I mentioned Cody Sanchez earlier. A lot of times we'll share followers, and like she'll go after my followers and I'll go after her followers, because it's all about people that want freedom and to take ownership of their life and not their boss taking it. We've definitely scraped her followers multiple times. Yeah. And then you can feed that right in, and then you can match it up to LinkedIn, or just match it up to have the AI agent go and find their email publicly, or whatever that kind of next step is. Yeah. But guys, like I've built an entire Twitter following from the ground up with one VA in the Philippines. My Instagram team, I don't run my DMs. My Instagram DMs, I probably get 250 DMs a day on Instagram. And I have a VA that I've built a script. So if you guys like want to grow your social media, if you want like whatever, if you need a VA, like if you need help finding a VA, I can onlinejobs.ph. If you want to go down the Philippines route, you can list
About other,
Go ahead.
about Southeast, what about South America? Where do you find South American VA?
I use Sagan, but Sagan's gonna hire SAGAN. But like an easy way to kind of start out is, are you guys familiar with Upwork? Upwork, you could go in, type in cold callers, and put in fluent English in South America, and that's a great place. You can. The first thing we do is ask for voice recordings. That's the very first thing we do before we even interview them. Like, send me some recordings of your calls, and if they're good, and then you might hire them to do like 50 calls and give them a list. And if they're good, they're not going to want to work on Upwork, because Upwork takes a cut, and that's how you can start building your mafia from there. Is you just find them on Upwork and bring them off Upwork.
So with somebody on Upwork like that, that's on one of those platforms, how do you know that they're, if you take them off platform and say, give them a full-time job after you've tried them out like that, how do you know that they're going to be working your 40 hours a week or whatever you're contracted and not still, doing other work on the side? Is there...
They might be. I would look at it as like project based, like work backwards on, okay, I need you to call 300 people this week. Because if they're doing a good job, the max they can do in a day is 100. So you might, like when you have that first Zoom with them on Upwork, like the first thing you're going to ask is like, how do I get a hold of you outside of Upwork? And they're going to give you your email. And that's when you start to like get to know them and start saying like, hey, I don't like Upwork's 10% cut. I'd rather you get the full $6 an hour. Why don't you, or they might even meet you in the middle and take a 5% discount, and they're making a 5% more by being off Upwork, and go that route.
Scraping a website, something like that.
Yeah, we write like with Clay, it's pretty simple. It's just like you set the criteria based on that. But as far as like call scripts and stuff, we use Claude very heavily for any of our marketing stuff. So whether that's marketing messaging for the bots in email or marketing for the bots on the voice side, like Claude is the best from a like marketing context, like Chat or Gemini or Grok's not there yet.
Okay. And then one other question. So ChatGPT released, buy it now.
Yep.
Are you doing anything to respond to that?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not. No. I think the interesting thing you got to think about with these like language models like Chat is they're pulling so Google has a paywall for their ads because they're trying to protect their ad revenue. Google's number one source for revenue is ad money. So if you're Chat and you're trying to scrape data on the best places to eat dinner in Corvallis, Google doesn't want to give you that data because they're selling ads to restaurants in Corvallis. So what they've done, if you've noticed, guys, is the two main sources for ChatGPT right now. Do you guys know what they are? Reddit is one. What's the second one? Wikipedia and Reddit. So what you can do to backdoor that is the new SEO for 2025 and 2026 is Reddit. Like that is where, if you are in, we have a whole army in the Philippines that's literally commenting for these brands. They call it reputation management. You can literally go in and like, on behalf of Williams Realty and Corvallis, like just start commenting in as like someone that just bought a house. Call it like a ghostwriter, like people that write my tweets, it's a ghostwriter. I don't write. It's the biggest time suck of my day is content creation. So like once you've trained that up, we call it Mike 2.0. Once you build like that clone of you communicate, then it's like Claude can just write all that for you. Yeah. Like that's anything. Think about like all your complaints. You can literally train up a model in Chat, Claude, and like escalation requests for maintenance or escalation requests for, and then you can have a VA go in and run that playbook for you. So whenever we have like customer support questions, we just have our VA talking to our Mike 2.0 to get the context of how I would answer it, and then they can do that dirty work for you. That's the back your time thing.
More curious on how you vote.
Well, we didn't. So like Clay's off the shelf. Like you could go sign up for Clay today. I think Clay's a little deep for people. Like might need to, if you go to Upwork, there's a ton of Clay consultants that you could be like, hey, I want you to build this. I want it to pump into a cold email, and you could hire a Clay consultant to set up the foundation for you. Lindy is simple, and they have a whole Slack community to like teach you where you get stuck. Like one of the big things I'm very passionate about is like the HubSpot follow-ups. Like how do we make the sales guys not fuck it up? Like it's got to be automated, and like that they can go in, stale lead, drip it based on the objection, like whatever you set as that criteria. It's very simple to use. And calendar management will take you 20 minutes tonight, because the great thing with Lindy is you can just copy Lindy's. So like you can literally go in and copy the calendar management Lindy, plug in your email, set your parameters for availability, how long you want the meetings to be, and then just name it and preset templates. Exactly. That's why like
Fix the basic off-the-shelf base to develop your antagonists.
That's exactly it. That's why like the big thing on like if you follow Lindy online, like the big LinkedIn thing is like share your Lindy, because like there's an AI agent I've been following around sports betting, and some guy built an entire like workflow on sports betting based on the odds and stuff, and so he can share that Lindy. I can copy it and then now do it myself. You can set those like whatever those keyword alerts are. And absolutely, most people use it for like competitor analysis, but same thing for like
You could script for something.
that's my wife. That's what her whole business is built around, is helping athletes find jobs. And she has an AI bot that's scraping all the job listings at Nike, so she can go back to the recruiter and be like, "Hey, do you want to hire a former athlete that knows marketing and has used HubSpot and used whatever AI tool for?" Like, it's all scraped. Because now even with chat, you can go, you set the URL and it'll scrape. If you're using Indeed and you set the criteria as like paralegal in whatever market, Eugene Corvallis, and then Claude, the agent, will scrape it for you. Or in chat, what did I say, Claude? Chat will.
What do you do? You said you scrape contact data. What are some of the best ways to do some skip tracing? Are you mostly doing B2B stuff, or what? Or you're doing B2B? Or?
B2B, like we use Ready Mode for our auto dialer, and we use Ready Mode for our auto dialer. So like where it's more like B2B businesses calling on behalf of, but we, with this realtor down in Florida that does 10 million or bigger homes, like we're doing a lot of, we're rather than going direct to consumer, we're going direct to realtors and then trying to bring them to the sale. And we're using SMS for that.
Okay.
To get to the realtors.
SMS.
And social media.
And okay. So let's say within our group, a lot of people are maybe looking for deals, or looking to buy property, or looking to get a hold of maybe distressed homeowners or other things. What are some ways that you could see using AI or VAs to help out? Like, what would be off the cuff some ways to do that?
Yeah, so one, there's a company out of Eugene, very well-known brand for turf. I'm not going to say the name of it. You guys probably can connect the dots, but they're like, hey, we want to go after homeowners in these neighborhoods, because our ideal, it all starts, anything you guys want to do, it starts with your ideal customer profile. What's your avatar? Who do you want to get to? The paralegal, the lawyers that are hiring the paralegal is his avatar. Our avatar is the person that's disgruntled in their 9 to 5, okay? Or the parent that wants to spend more time with their kids, okay? That's like, who's your ideal avatar? And to get there, so when we were talking to this turf company, we were talking and they're like, we need the household income to be 150 grand or more, because we are very, very high-end turf. And so what we did is we went into Jess is going to butcher me for that. I think we went into either the county or the city records and sourced by neighborhood, and that's how we scraped the homeowners for that. I mean, you guys would know better than me, but like we built an agent to, all you need is the URL of the source and it'll pull the data for you. Yeah, even around paywalls. So it's, I don't know if it's legal, but we scrape a ton out of CoStar. And
what have you come into or trying to figure out regulations with? You do have some outbound voice AI. What are some of the either regulations or things to consider around that?
Well, technically with like the direct to consumer, like they gotta opt in. And so like when you send that message, whether it's a text or whether it's a email, like you have to have an opt out notification somewhere in that. Whether that's, for us, we do a lot of cold emails. So we, at the bottom of our signature, unsubscribe here, like your automated text, like, respond, stop to opt out, big thing. But like Google just came out with some new laws last month. And I mean, it's still, I think where it's going to get hairy is with the phone bot stuff, like the dialing.
The full what?
The phone bot, the dialing, like that's where it'll really start to crack down.
I know that the new iOS update has some ways that to get around, or what is it? That it doesn't answer right away, or it sends them to.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought this. So 2 tools I would recommend for like you guys is SendBlue. If you've never, SendBlue. So think of the blue text message. So all of our leads now, we use SendBlue. So when they get an alert, let's say they book a calendar invite and we want to remind them of like, hey, you're meeting with Ryan tomorrow at 10 a.m. Just want to remind you, now that message is blue. So SendBlue, and that's really helped our show rates. And then the second one is, and you can Google this, there's a bunch of tools out there. You can find the cheapest one is ringless voicemails. And so we use the shit out of that because no one likes to call people back or listen to their voicemails. And now with the new iOS feature where you get the text message summary of what the voicemail said, and then you don't have the awkward cold call because it just leaves a ringless voicemail.
There's a lot of people that want to get their start wholesaling and trying to reach out to distressed sellers, or maybe an avatar might be a family that somebody that passed away, and maybe they've got a reverse mortgage on their house and the heirs need to sell it right away, or maybe they want to go after and find subject to opportunities and they're trying to look for mortgages under 3.5% that have no equity or something like that. But let's say they find a list of people. What would be some ways to target, or how would you go about reaching out to homeowners across Oregon that maybe fit some avatar like that? You've got, let's say you figured out mainly their address. You've got their address, and maybe you can figure out email and phone number based on scraping data and that stuff.
So back to the followers thing, if you got their name, you can pump that into Clay, and Clay will go out to Zoom Info or LinkedIn and get their email for you. If you already have their email, like save the money on using Clay credits. And 2 outreach tools we love. The main one is Instantly. Instantly is an awesome email tool. It'll centralize all the inbox. It'll blast out for you. You can build out email warming in there. So you can have 15 domains, ryan.long, ryanlong.at, ryan.long, like all the domains you need. And I would use Instantly for sure. And then I think kind of what you were saying with the ideal avatar, I would double down on what is working. Like I look at Greystar, and like Greystar right now in the commercial property space, they're going out after specific loans of buildings that were built at a specific criteria, because they know the loan is either coming up on like an increase in it. Again, I don't know like lending that well, but like you get my point of like they know between 2018 and 2021 these
5-year loans are
coming due.
That was what somebody brought up yesterday, is look for any ARMs that are residential ARMs that were taken out 4 years ago.
Exactly.
Because those ARMs are about to go up 2-3% in the next 12 months, and those people are freaking out.
Yeah. And they can't refi yet.
Mm-hmm.
The king of all that data, I don't know if there's any of you in here, but if you have a good friend that works at a title company, that is where you're going to get all the data that Ryan's asking.
I'm trying to figure out you're scraping.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other back door is like, where do these veterans hang out? You know, like a place like this, like, is there a roster for this place? You know, like this turf company, the first thing I said is like 150 or $1,000 or more. We need to go scrape the country clubs. We're going to go scrape the country club rosters and get past the paywall with an AI agent, and that's your ideal customer. You know, like think about the private school family, like all those kind of like, who is the ideal customer and where do they hang out? Like these distressed loans, are they down at are they playing video lottery across the street at Elmer's? They could.
PropStream, and they bought the number 2 company. And then Pace Morby said he uses dealsauce.io. And I think there's one called croftwire.com. You said Pace Morby. These are Pace Morby recommendations, but dealsauce.io and PropStream's the biggest one that's got easy filters to find all the different types of owners and how they're financed and that stuff, whether they've got high equity, low equity, how old their loan is and that stuff.
And if you find these tools and there's like manual data, kind of what he was asking earlier, like the manual data crunching to then pump into it instantly, that is a perfect job for someone on onlinejobs.ph at $4 to $5 an hour to go do the data crunching. And like if you're too scared of using these AI tools yet, then you could, like we were talking about with the paralegals, you could have them go manually scrape all those job roles, what the company name is, go find the CEO, go find the CEO's contact info, and then you pump those in instantly and off and running.
Do you have any tips with, it seems VAs out of the Philippines are very much narrow focused. You have to give them very specific instructions. Are there ways to find VAs that maybe are more AI forward or are able to think and or do things and extrapolate and that thing with instructions and
Yeah, you're gonna have to
projects?
pay for it.
Where
Yeah.
do you find them on different sites, or is it South America, or are you going on Upwork?
South America's gonna have the same like tunnel vision. So two things with VAs, if you go down the VA path, just to make your life easier, is have them send an end-of-day report, use WhatsApp. Like I just got mine from my gal in El Salvador right when I walked in, of what she accomplished for the day, what she's gonna work on tomorrow, so then you can edit it and prioritize what you need for tomorrow. So WhatsApp, like end of day, and then Loom videos will be your best friend. Do not give them written direction of like, go to this Indeed site, find these law firms with paralegals. Do a Loom video explaining exactly what you just said, and type in Indeed.com, type in law firms in Eugene, Oregon, type in paralegal roles for hire, and send that Loom video. If you do Loom videos, these guys will not screw it up.
Loom videos do a screenshot, so you're actually showing
Yeah.
your process, and then you're sending the video
Yeah.
to them so they can watch and hear your process.
Correct.
And
So before we built a scraping tool for vending, the first thing we would do is we would have a Loom video that would say, go to apartments.com, type in city, Corvallis, type in units greater than 50, and she would manually have to write down X property contact, X property or Y property contact, and that's what we plugged into our dialer. And so that Loom video is going to save you a ton of time.
that's, you keep saying buy back your time, but Dan Martell, is that
Yeah,
part of
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's what he always talks
Yeah.
about, is make a video and then make them write the
Yep,
SOP.
exactly.
And then you can share that SOP with the next
Yep.
VA or whatever, or as you build your
Yeah.
team.
Now every US hire that we make, I always give them a VA. Like VAs are true multipliers for all of you. If you're a veterinarian or if you're a lawyer or you're something else, a VA will save you so much. I would take a $10,000 pay cut to give an extra $1,000 to my VA. A lot. We have 12 cold callers in the Philippines. We have 5 in Belize. Those I don't consider VAs. And then everyone on our executive team has a VA. You know, all these AI tools are gonna eventually probably remove VAs. But right now, I mean, with where AI is at, the people that are getting the most momentum are the people leaning into AI with humans and not looking at it as one or the other. Yeah. But like, think about how, like, the best thing I always recommend to all of our team whenever we make a new hire is like, food journal. What are you working on today? And then you're going to realize real quick what you shouldn't be working on and what the VA should be working on. And that's when, like, you know, you guys should be closing deals, not doing the data crunching, not doing the data chasing. Like, that's how I look at it.
So meal journal, you're talking a time journal where
Time journal,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, where
Yeah.
you're track
Yeah.
what you're doing every
Yeah.
day for a week, and
Not even a
then-
week, like 2 days.
and then look and say, this is a low value task. I
Yeah.
should be having somebody else do this.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Like a simple task could be, let's talk social media. Let's say you want to go find your leads on social media. You might actually have your VA, because you're going after veteran loans. You might have your VA go into 5 different veteran related social medias in town and start reaching out to their followers one by one to start conversations with them in the DMs. Like if there's like a Veterans of Corvallis or where are you going to go meet your ideal customer at? And it might be on Instagram because they're just doom scrolling all day, or it might be on Fox News of Corvallis. I don't know. Like that's, again, you just got to understand where these people hang out. Yeah. Like when I first got my first students in the community, I had my VA go to Cody Sanchez's followers. This is before I even met Cody. And it was like, hey, are you happy with your job? Well, we knew they weren't happy with their job, or they wouldn't be following Cody. They wouldn't be trying to go buy a laundromat if they were happy with their job. And that just triggered the conversation. And then our VA had a decision tree that I built out on how to answer it with the goal to do a booked call, which then I took the booked call, and in the DMs, they thought they were talking to me the whole time, and they were talking to that VA.
So if
Yeah.
you schedule a private consultation with you, will it be with you or one of your VA?
It'll be with me, but there in the DMs you won't be chatting with me. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you speak a little bit more on, I'm going to go back to that in a sec. Do you use anything like Grammarly or something when you're for basic emails? Or do you use everything through that Play app?
Oh, this is fascinating. Have you guys heard of Whisper Flow?
No.
I don't use Grammarly at all. So Whisper Flow with no I. It's WHISPRFLOW. So you guys have used Siri, right?
Yeah.
So watch this. I'm going to text Ryan, and let's say I hate texting. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to hit this world button right here. This is the Whisper Flow app. I'm going to hit this button. It's going to have me start the flow. I'm going to start that again. Hit this button. Start flow. Watch this. Hey, Ryan, I'm running a little behind traffic, but I will be there by 6 o'clock. It's going to take that, remove all my ums, and send that in a punctual text to Ryan.
And it works with email.
Email, same thing. You can talk to ChatGPT and be like, I need to go find these data sources for VA loans. Where do you recommend I find them in Corvallis, Oregon? You're having a whole text conversation through voice.
What I currently do is I'll write something, copy, paste it, put it on to polish the, and then put it in else and use it straight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And ChatGPT,
Yeah.
you can talk to it and say, hey, I need to write an email to Bobby, and I need to ask him about this. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
it will do it, and then you can copy and paste.
Yeah.
But Whisper Flow is a lot more direct.
Well, Whisper Flow is going to be more like, it's Siri on steroids. It's not one or the other. I mean, chat, you can do that normal conversation of, hey, I want to go find these. Yeah, like you said, Whisper Flow is going to be more just anything you want to say written in a professional way, but voice it. It's going to be way better than Siri.
Can you speak a little more on like vending machine business a little more? Like what opportunities are there right now? What kind of cash flow is in that? Like,
Yeah,
what do you need in order to invest in this?
Yeah, I mean, not much. That's why it's so lucrative for a lot of people. Is it's not like you're going to buy a laundromat and need an SBA loan. I think the future of vending is going to be unattended retail. And so I had a meeting this morning actually, with one of the number 3 at Airbnb. There's 10 million STR homes across the world. 95% of those are still individually owned. Only 5% are institutionally owned. And I have a vision that every single home in their garage should have a smart machine that's got everything from phone chargers to sunscreen to 6 packs of eggs, olive oil. When a family comes to Florida and is like, hey, do you have this? We're flying in late. Like, that's where I think, but you know, even today I went to get my hair cut and I'm there getting my hair cut. And the barber's telling me about how she only gets paid on how many haircuts she does. But the minute someone walks in that door and the bell rings to go buy shampoo, she has to stop my haircut to go check out someone at the front desk for shampoo. Like, a smart machine should have all that shampoo in it. The person comes in, puts in their credit card, just like our machines we have all over, and grab the shampoo, walk away, and they're off and running. So I think unattended retail, it's like Japan. It's humans are lazy, and hotels now, like the whole grab and goes, like next to the check-in desk, they don't want their employees to stock it. And so, I mean, there's opportunity there, but it's not, I mean, with what you're doing with the 1031s, like there's bigger bang for your buck. If you wanted to build a business for one of your kids, it could be an interesting 21st century lemonade stand. So that's how I look at it. I mean, you could probably get your schools and stuff where your kids go to school and they could go pitch the principal. And we have a lot of those types of, like,
I don't know what the hippie school.
as long as you put some maybe edibles or something. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be interesting.
What if people do have STRs, or let's say they manage an apartment building, what could they be thinking about
Absolutely.
as far as partnering either
Yeah.
with you or a student, or trying to do their own vending machine? Where would they?
Yeah.
Where do they start? What?
Yeah, so we built out a platform. You could get a machine on ours. So we've gone to all the main suppliers and negotiated purchasing power on behalf of 1,400 operators. Think of it like co-op style. group purchasing power. So like he has 25 plus units. You know, you could put a $4,000 machine in there, you know, finance it over 60 months. You're looking at $112 a month payment. Stock it half drinks, half snacks, maybe some like accessories like laundry pods and a lot of these high ticket items, dishwashing soap. We have like Greystar, their door locks are battery, and a lot of these people's batteries die and then they get pissed off. And so we sell, you know, D-size batteries in the machine. So, I mean, I think the economics would make sense, if anything.
How many units or how many people in a building do you think makes sense for maybe a basic machine or basic? Is it,
I think
10 unit plus, 20
I would
unit?
say 20 plus.
20 plus.
Yeah. Unless it's like a bunch of families, you know, and every unit has 2 kids.
And if people do have connections to maybe property managers that are managing 50 units or whatever, are there opportunities to partner with you to,
We would
or your
Totally.
operators to set that up?
We wouldn't even need the operators. So like with the STRs, we're not even, you know, a lot of it is like the Airbnb guy was like, well, these managers will want to stock it. We don't want your vendingpreneurs to stock it. So then we have a platform where they can buy all their machines, all their product for restock. And if it's like Pepsi product, you know, Bigfoot will deliver it. If it's Coke, Swire, we've negotiated national contracts with these suppliers, so you can go and buy your machines and don't even care if they wanted to stock it themselves or make all the margin themselves.
How smart are those spreadsheets that tell you,
Oh, you're down to 30% inventory.
Oh, it's even more than that. I could pull up right now. I mean, so like this is one of the companies. This is not the one I would recommend for if you're looking for the cheapest model, but it's a simple one. So what you'll notice here is there's a credit card reader on the door. So like we'll have $90 transactions on Thursday night in Eugene. We'll probably have some tonight when people come home from the bar. So what you do, the reason the transaction value is higher than what he was talking about with the old school C9, once you put your card on the door and it authorizes that there's enough funds on your card, everything in that machine is free game. And so we'll do laundry pods, we do condoms, makeup wipes, tampons. This doesn't have to be what you think of here with Snickers and Diet Coke. So our transaction value is 2.5 times X. So Chase Gardens, right there by the baseball field in Eugene, we had an old school machine with the whole C9, the motor spirals down a Snickers. That thing maxed out at $1,200. We replaced it with a smart machine. Guess what that thing does? Same exact location in the apartment, $2,500 a month.
These are 4 to 6 grand.
This one's on the high end, $6,000. But there's other brands here like Sandstar's $3,700 on our platform. Same exact method. But you'll notice when he opens it, there's 4, or she opens it, there's 4 cameras in the corners, and so it's tracking whatever you grab. So if you grab a Starburst and a water, you're going to get charged for that when you walk away. There's no honor system. You don't have to scan the UPC code when you walk away. Just grab it and walk away.
There's a farm out on Peoria Road that's probably got 150, mostly farm labor types, but it's far enough from town that it would be hard for somebody to go with a 30-minute lunch break to go into town and to come back. It's 10, 15 minutes each way. So if somebody doesn't bring their lunch or wants a snack.
This is what we,
employers or any employers that have commie addresses as opposed to city addresses.
Yeah. Any like mill or, this is what we have at Stallbush. It's 2 snack shelves, a checkout kiosk, and then a refrigerated cooler, and then a freezer cooler. So we'll do breakfast items because they have night shifts. So we'll do a lot of like orange juice and breakfast bowls like Jimmy Bean, Jimmy Dean's. But this one they didn't want the smart cooler. A lot of their employees, they want to use cash. So we did do something like that where it is the honor system. The great thing with like an employer, they slapped a sign on there that said you will be fired if you're caught stealing. Throw a camera right above it. We've had no theft at all. Our Eugene operator. Depends on the size. So like that screen right there is pretty big. I think that full market, like the one at Stallbush, probably cost us 10 grand all in. We're doing in the low season around 2,500 bucks. In the high season, we're doing around 4 grand. So like we're going into high season with pumpkin kind of season. So probably $4,000 we're profiting right around 50% at Skullbush. Yeah. So like for us, I mean, our community is like, we have to fulfill 3,800 properties. Like Kraystar's one of 7 MSAs we have. So like, our team's not door knocking in Corvallis. Like if you guys wanted to put a machine in a property in Corvallis, like our whole thing is strength in numbers. We want to go back to Coke and be like, look at the purchasing power of the entire community, not our 14 location route in Lane County. No, but I wish they would. Like so our new machine, we're trying to figure out what to call it. And it's the future of retail is unattended retail. And it's basically, I think it's 27 billion right now, but by 2027, it's projected to be over 47 billion. But like that whole unattended retail thing is fascinating to me because like this is just shelf space. So whether this is like Nordstrom Rack or think about anyone that goes to the grocery store now, the first thing you try to do is go to self-checkout. That's all this is. So I think, even here, like in theory, with the technology of these machines having clear and TSA, you could serve alcohol and it's going to require the eyes in your ID at checkout.
Could you have Amazon restock?
Yeah,
Something like
the
that?
Amazon. Have you guys been to Vegas recently?
Yeah.
Did you see the 7-Eleven at the bottom of the escalator? So when you come down the Vegas escalator now and it says, "Welcome to Las Vegas" sign, you know what I'm talking about? There's a 7-Eleven right at the bottom of that escalator. Guess how many employees are in that thing? 0. It's an Amazon just walk out 7-Eleven where the gate opens with your card and then there's like 300 cameras on the ceiling. And then when you go check out, the gate will validate with your account and you walk out. You don't talk to anyone in the 7-Eleven. It's fascinating. But
Why did
that's
the
where we're at.
Amazon grocery stores all shut down?
I think
Do you think it just?
I don't know. I mean, yeah,
Maybe it makes more sense to start on a smaller scale and work your way up.
probably. And there's less. I mean, with like convenience stores, I mean, it's the same. It's the same planogram. You got your drinks, you got your candy, you got your chips. Like with a grocery store, it's always changing with new
So
products.
many thousands of SKUs.
Yeah.
You might have already said this, but are you looking for investors or only owner operators?
We're not looking for investors.
You are. You're not.
No.
Mike's got a newborn at home. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Otherwise, I'm gonna
We're good.
to
Whatever.
drive back to
Yeah,
Eugene.
all good. No, it's all good. Gives me an excuse. For which channel?
Mr. Passive.
If you go to Instagram, like Mike Hoffman Official is my real channel. Twitter is Mr. Passive. Feel free to tag me. I'll retweet it or whatever I can do. You guys, happy to help. Social media is, everyone wants to grow their social media until you don't. And so I always, any questions on VAs or AI tools or anything? Like
Any other tips on hiring VAs? There's a lot of agencies that directly market to real estate agents, to real estate investors, and all those things. Does it make sense to try and go through one of those companies to hire your first VA, or go to onlinejobs.ph or whatever?
I would go to onlinejobs.ph. Unless it's like a super skilled role, there's no reason to pay a headhunter fee. There's no, like, you're going to get, so onlinejobs.ph is going to charge you $99 a month. Sign up for 1 month. Did you ever do this? I told you this like 2 years ago. Do your homework. Come on. So you're going to sign up for 1 month, $99 a month. Sign up for 1 month. Don't do the annual subscription. List out a job role. It could be like data collection for VA loans. So they need to be organized. Like go into chat. Tell chat, hey, I need help with this project. They're going to tell chat to create the job description. List the job for anywhere from like $5 to $7 an hour. And you don't have to do 40 hours, like do a project based. Maybe it's, for me, like with the calls, I would give them 200 dials and see if they're legit. And the dials I'd have them call were very low risk. So if they screwed it up, I didn't care. If they drummed up 1 lead out of 200, it justified the VA's 20 hours at $5 an hour. When you wake up tomorrow after posting that job ad, I promise you, you will have over 100 applicants. And
What's
you,
the fastest way to filter? You said make sure that they've got some video or audio recording
Well-
of them, but what are some other good
yeah,
ways
you
to
can look
filter
at it
through
like their
this?
picture, like do they look, it's kind of like looking at a LinkedIn bio, like do you get good vibes? I mean, a lot of people will actually pay to endorse themselves, so they pop up first in your feed, and I don't mind that, like they're hungry, and so they might be, well, when they apply, they're gonna have their resume. So if they have, let's say you need help with budgeting, and they have 8 years of being a CFO in the Philippines, like that's more than overkill of what you need them to do.
At this class I was at the other day, they were, yeah, if you're looking for somebody to help you manage your short-term rentals, there's actually a lot of people on there that worked for Airbnb, can definitely help you optimize your Airbnb profiles and communication and everything else. So look for that.
If we keep our Florida property, the only like wild card is we need to have more than one cleaner option that's local to Florida. But like you can list a ton of people run their VA, like the VA runs the inbox in Airbnb, check-in questions, checkout questions. Do you have more time? All those questions are answered by a VA. That's a ghostwriter, and you train them up on, if you get X question, here's Y answer, and you have a little cheat sheet for them to go off of. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. Yep. So I have my VA every day. All my employees have to send an end-of-day report, and then she consolidates those reports and what are the cliff notes of maybe where an employee is blocked and needs my help on blocking, or whether there's a bill that needs approved because it's above X amount. So you can have a VA like help. A VA is not going to manage your employees remotely. Like that's probably your job. But like anything that's time suck, like HR's side, like do you need them to go through payroll or go through SOPs for new hires or go through whatever. But I think on the tenant management or going to find leads, like VA should be doing that stuff for you. Like I think for Airbnb, it's perfect. Any tenant management, like customer support. For anyone that doesn't know, like customer support centers, BPOs is probably what some of you have heard them called. Like all those people answering the phone when you call 1-800-United.com because your flight got delayed, those are all answered in the Philippines. So like all these people that are applying to your onlinejobs.ph job, they have years of resume experience doing this customer support handling. Whether it's a STR or a tenant complaint because their toilet's broken and you need the Philippine to call the local plumber in Corvallis for you. You just need to spell out exactly, and that's kind of the Loom video I like to use versus like writing it all down and them having to try to interpret it. I just don't know what's kind of like, if you want to read about virtual assistants, I mean, you can Google best way to use virtual assistants to help me manage my properties, and you're going to get 10 blogs from 10 different agencies that are going to want you to pay $3,500 to hire your $1,000 VA. Yep. They sign an NDA and they have all the logins, and when you first onboard a VA, the first thing you got to do is like if there's two-factor, like get them into your Slack channel. Like my VA runs my whole Slack, so any Slack messages they do a roll up every day of like, hey, I could answer these, I couldn't answer these, like whatever you're getting bombarded. My VA goes in and runs my inbox, so she breaks it out into three categories: archived, I don't need to respond; reply, it might be from a board member I have to respond; and then review, where she's drafted up a response and I just have to hit send or edit it. And so she runs my inbox in that regard too. For me directly, yeah. Yep. But we have one for social media that's specifically sending DMs and responding to DMs with the goal of them getting on a call. So like if you're trying to go after, a simple example would be like if Ryan's like, hey, I'm trying to go after, I don't know, whatever in Albany, like you could go after accounts in Albany or where people might be tagged in locations on Instagram and have a VA go in and start teeing up those conversations. Basically, if we were talking about like distressed loans from 5 years ago, you could go follow a title company and have your VA go in and scrape the post from 5 years ago of everyone that closed in on a home, and have your VA go reach out to every one of those people that the title company tagged to start a conversation, and they think they're talking to Ryan. It's creepy, guys. Like These people know, the world today knows. We were talking about it earlier. My assistant built an entire course with what we call Mike 2.0. There's a tool that downloaded an hour-long YouTube video of me, took my mannerisms, my voice reflections, and now my VA can type out a course and it's me talking. And I don't have to spend any time behind a camera anymore. Like, that's scary.
Especially if he gets in the wrong hand.
Yeah, did you hear about that guy? The guy that a competitor cold called a employee of his number one competition on behalf of the CEO. And so this employee thought he was talking to his boss when it was his competitor that made the dial with the voice of his boss. You're gonna talk about like crazy SHIT. Like, we're gonna need like codes to get to, so our kids know they're talking to us. Yeah, go for it.
I have found really great results with even snail mail letter writing and to owners. Can I have a VA do that?
Absolutely. People don't know this, but like, you can have, there's a tool out there that'll do thank you notes handwritten, and you pick your font. And so I have my VA, anytime I go to a meeting or speak at a conference, I have my into the software and write the handwritten notes coming from me. And it's delivered via mail, handwritten. So absolutely, the snail mail would be perfect.
Where's the same app?
Snail mail is simple. Like, go find a snail mail person, and then like what I would do is like just draft up a script, just like a DM script, like a written script, like first name, congrats on your house or whatever, and then best, your name, and just have the VA go in and plug in the address, the first name, and just build them all out. And then you can either, if you trust your VA, they can check out, or you can go review and hit checkout and pay for it.
These are machines that have a pin in the end.
Oh, no. We use a software. Oh, so there's a software. Sorry, I misunderstood.
It actually comes out on your printer then, so it...
No, they mail it for you, and you can track it. So I go into, hold on.
Like from you places in South America?
No, so hold on, so this is for, sorry, I misunderstood you.
Do you have something that you use for that?
Not brand written. I will say that book by Dan Martell, Buy Back Your Time, definitely shifts your mind around how to use an executive assistant, how to hire an assistant, and really trying to...
Yeah, this is online jobs. Perfect.
Yeah. Put that up. And...
So this company here, we use this handwritten.com. This is for thank you notes. I've never even thought about snail mail because it's a little more expensive. Oh yeah, business right here. You what? Yeah, but like every time I go to a meeting on my flight back, I just fill out for my VA what the note says, and she goes and takes the address, and you can pay like $1 more to like track the delivery of the mail. I don't really care because it's a thank you card, but you can actually track like the day they get it, if they opened it, all that stuff as well. And it's fully written. You pick out the font.
How do they know if they opened it?
What? I don't know if I opened it. It's the whole like, pay $1 more to make sure that, yeah. So I've only used this for thank yous, not snail mail. I don't know if it's like real. I think it would be a no-brainer for like hot leads, Like, great talking to you on the phone today. I think this is going to be way more set you guys apart from other people moving forward, just because like that tangible thing with social media now, you don't know if it's real, and this is, it's real, but it's not. It's what? Handwritten with a Y. HANDWRYTTEN. But like, you could have your VA on Fridays go through all your meetings for the week that were work related and say, and like, hey, really enjoyed our meeting this week, and like have them blast these out to all your client prospects.
You're in the Airbnb world.
Yep.
You told me that you hired, obviously, people in Florida to manage your Airbnb, but you do a lot of this virtually as well, managing responses and stuff to the people that rent from you.
Well, so
You manage all.
when we had our condo in Sun River, we self-managed, and I had a VA in the Philippines run all customer conversations. The only thing the VA couldn't do is like if the cleaner was out, like we had to backfill cleaner B, cleaner C, cleaner D, or if like the fireplace wouldn't start like going into the winter, if like fix the pilot light, we had to like coordinate that with someone on the pine. Like our VA didn't know how to do that. But like I wasn't in the Airbnb app at all. It's very similar to like how we use the DMs, like same thing. You build out a script. If A, answer this way. If B, complaint, answer this way. Yeah.
And some of the people at conferences I've gone to, they say, give them your vendor book of here's 3 plumber ABs.
Exactly.
It comes up, here's cleaner ABC. If this one's not available, go to this one, that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's been keeping me from Airbnbs is also the work required. I didn't realize.
Yeah. It's The other thing, does anyone else have Airbnbs or STRs? Does anyone have a short-term rental? Kind of, yeah.
It's not a great market here. I have them up between other things, but
Well, I guess this is relevant for, I mean, maybe you already use it, but when I was at Sun River, people at Sun River go with other families. And one of the things that was fascinating to me, have you guys heard of StayFi? So this router, where let's say you have tenants in your apartment complex, this would be perfect. This router plugs into your internet cord. So let's say you go to Xfinity, it's just a device that connects between your Xfinity box for Wi-Fi or whatever Wi-Fi you use or fiber and your internet cord in the wall. And what it does, when you go to Starbucks and you want to connect to the Starbucks internet, what does it require you to do? Enter in your email. And then what it does is it routes you to the Starbucks website. Well, what I learned with StayFi, it's a router, is you set a home page for your own management for long-term tenants or your short-term rental that's outside of Airbnb for return bookings. And so what we did is we would always have one person book the condo in Sun River, but we'd always have like 6 other people connect to Wi-Fi. We built a newsletter list of over 1,200 people from less than 50 bookings. And what we would do in the down season is we would send promos like, hey, do you want to book directly with us? We'll give you Thursday night half off if you book Friday through Sunday. And that freaking got like this would crush it. Because what it does, like if you have a house or something where families or guests, especially if you're building like a newsletter list for like open vacancies coming up, you just run that, and they've already been to your building to visit their friends and connected to your Wi-Fi. That's scary. Yeah. But like you go to Starbucks and it's like, how the F do they know like right away that now you get all these ads about there's a Starbucks down the street. It's like, how do you know I'm in Corvallis today? It's like, oh shit. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I thought you learned the global VPN that get attached to a backbone.
Yeah. There are some, if your VA gets into some like high security thing, like we use ExpressVPN for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, very protective of like logging in where you say you live. So like our VA in Nigeria that runs my LinkedIn, she has to use a VPN out of Seattle. I mean, it's only $40 a year, but we've been kicked out of LinkedIn a couple times when she tried to log in and said she was in Nigeria and not Oregon. Yeah. So, any other questions, guys? You got my contact info, so I'm happy to help. I don't mean to bounce, but we got 4 months at home, so I'm gonna try it on nighttime routine when I get home. Thank you, guys. Cool.
I was going to spend a couple minutes talking about BPCon when I got back from, but what I think I'll do is I'll shoot a little video and share it on the Facebook page for our group, talking about maybe 5 key takeaways. I do, for people, I'll spend 2 minutes right now, but for people that don't know, is everybody familiar with BiggerPockets? Anybody not heard of BiggerPockets.com? They've got a great podcast with tons of real estate investing ideas. They've got forums and they've got a convention every year. They've got 30 books on different topics. And so if you're thinking about how to do out-of-state real estate investing. They've got a great library as well for learning things. And what I might do is bring some of their books next time so people can check them out and take them. And maybe we'll do our own little free book exchange here or something at our monthly meetings. Real quick, they have an annual meeting. Unfortunately, they're going, this year was easy because it was in Las Vegas the last 3 days, which is easy to get to, but next year it's going to be in Orlando beginning of October. I encourage people to go because it's a real estate meetup for 3 days. You get to talk to people at all stages of life. And the biggest takeaway that I took is, two biggest takeaways is we're out of the Goldilocks era of the last 2012 through 2021 when we had low interest rates and a deal could be found. But we're still in a great era to invest, and you have to invest smart, but there's plenty of opportunity. House hacking, a duplex, a fourplex is the best way to get started for anybody that's trying to get into real estate investing, or if you're encouraging somebody else to do it, that's the way to go. One of the guys there, one of the keynotes, he said, if you really want to get out of your 9 to 5, commit to 5 years of suck and go house hack. Go house hack with roommates, house hack with a fourplex, whatever. But you do that 5 years in a row, you buy a new duplex 5 years in a row. And in 5 years, you're going to be in a decent spot. And if you hold those 5 rentals in 10, 20 years, you're going to be set and be able to retire. So embrace the 5 years of suck if you're a new investor. The other thing is at these conferences, there's the whole, every conference, there's a vendor room, and there was 50 vendors there, but over half of them are lenders. There's so much money out there if you guys are looking for loans. If you have a deal, the hardest part in real estate, and it's if you talk to people and maybe use some of these tools and look for it, there's plenty of deals out there. You need to find it. And if you find a real deal, there's plenty of money out there, whether it's through lenders with DSCRs, fix and flips, all these other kind of loans, or with partnerships in our community or other communities around Oregon. So if you find a good deal, talk to people, talk to lenders, and there's plenty of opportunity for you to build your dreams. So those were my couple biggest takeaways. Any questions on that? I think next year it's October 2nd through 4th. There's lots of great conferences. If you guys ever want to hear about it, let me know. But yeah, lots of energy. And I've been going 4 years to that one. And I met some people in San Diego 4 years ago, and we've been going every year. And it's awesome to see these people grow. You make connections outside of our little bubble here locally, see what people are doing nationally, and get to watch people grow and help them and ping ideas off each other. One of the investors has a really awesome strategy for seller financing, and if anybody wants to hear about it, it's a pretty freaking cool strategy for building wealth long term that I can talk about some other time. So